WTBQ.
Ain't I got you on the back foot? And you know I got you really good.
Good morning and happy Saturday, everyone. I'm Katie Krahulik, and this is Leading Ladies, a women's talk show that features relatable, intelligent, compassionate, powerful, productive women of the 21st century. And I have Erin Shanahan. She's back with me today to be my co-host.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, Katie.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm extremely excited about today's show. We have some great people lined up today. And on that note, I'd like to introduce my first guest, Ms. Barbara Moore. Hi, Barbara. Thank you so much for coming in today.
It's my pleasure to be here and back in the Warwick Valley.
Yes. So Barbara has a lot of experience in the area, and I just want to first start with talking about what you are doing currently, because you did move down to New Jersey.
Right. We were, Jim and I lived in Greenwood Lake for 20 years, and still, a huge part of my heart is there. I grew up in southern New Jersey, right outside of Atlantic City, and my mother, who is 89 years old, is still living in the same home I was raised in. And, as aging people, it happens, unfortunately. My mother has dementia, and it's a really unbelievable disease because one day she can be 100% and the next day she's 40%.
Right.
But so we moved down to South Jersey to be near her. It's, it's like a constant care kind of thing. My sister lives with her and takes care of her. And so Jim and I pitch in. And it's nice to be home. It really is.
Definitely.
It's you children, young adults, you're born and raised in the Warwick Valley, and you know what it's like to be back in your roots. You go to college, you come home, it's like, it's a great. So that's how I kind of feel about being back at the shore. It's like the salt air in my bones again. It's really nice. But
definitely can understand that.
And I'm still working. I'm a financial advisor. That's been my career for 33 years. And the nice part about it is I work from home now. So that's really nice.
That's a goal.
Yeah, really, really nice.
Definitely. And can you talk about a little bit of the work you did and the roles you held when you were living in the Hudson Valley?
Oh, absolutely. We moved in 1995 to Greenwood Lake. I lived in New York City for over a decade and did a lot of great fun city things, as I'm sure you guys going to school in the area, are enjoying also. But we moved to Greenwood Lake, and we bought a really lovely home that needed a lot of repair. And so we put our heart and soul into the community. We attended village board meetings and really wanted to know where we were living. This is a new adventure for us. Growing up at the Jersey Shore, I was always on water and really wanted to have a home that was on water. So it was super special to us.
Right.
And but I noticed that there was not a lot happening in the village of Greenwood Lake in 1995. But I heard a lot about the great history that had been happening in a community that was surrounded by mountains with a beautiful 9-mile lake right in front of you. So
beautiful.
It was, I was sitting there going, there has to be a regeneration, because this place is spectacular, 42 miles northwest of New York City. Such a draw, but, it was kind of sleepy at the time. Mm-hmm. And, organizations were really the main source of entertainment in the community. So if you belong to the American Legion, or you belong to the Elks Lodge, or, you were in the Catholic Daughters, or, people seem to just go to where their center was. And there wasn't much community at the time. So I really wanted to bring community back into the village of Greenwood Lake.
Right, fantastic.
So I ran for trustee and served as a trustee for 4 years. And then I ran for mayor.
Awesome. And how long were you mayor for?
I was mayor for 6 years, 3 terms.
Right.
So it was a lot of time and a lot of dedication, but I believe in my heart, and I think that's what you have to do in anything, in any life, goals that you have to put your whole heart and soul into it. And if you're satisfied, I think that's a great accomplishment.
Definitely. And of course, when you're passionate about it, you get great results. And clearly you're very passionate about Greenwood Lake, so you ended up where you belonged. So obviously that's what pushed you to become mayor, is right, that
Absolutely.
will
I just
make a
felt that
difference.
yes, totally, to make a difference. And to really, coming in from the outside, I think when you're in the inner circle of a community or a school or a neighborhood, that's what you see. And as a new person coming in, I had the advantage of seeing a broader picture.
Right.
And what it could be. When you're used to something so long,
Right.
sometimes you can't get out of that rut. And so it was fun to take the adventure and really bring pride into the community. I think that people, so many people didn't even know the lake existed.
Right.
They work so hard. They commute out of the village in the morning,
Right.
come back in the evening when it's dark, and what do you know? You know your driveway.
Yeah.
So we wanted to have the opportunity to introduce the lake to all residents,
Right.
and that's why it was part of the passion that I had to find a piece of property that would allow the residents of the village of Greenwood Lake and the town of Warwick to see what we had in Greenwood Lake, that 9-mile lake that had so much four-season opportunity. Not only summer community, but a winter community
Right.
also.
It's true, definitely. I think it is well utilized as well.
What would you say was like your biggest initiative during your time as mayor? Like your most proud accomplishment during that
Well,
time
I
period?
think instilling pride and letting the people know what they had was number one. Number two is concentration on the lake, that body of water that if we didn't have it, there wouldn't be a village of Greenwood Lake.
Right.
So, I really learned and focused on stormwater because
That's important.
whatever runs into the lake is part of the whole component of the health of it. So my concentration was on stormwater, septic maintenance, and actually removing of the weeds and the pollutants that were in the water.
Right. I mean, there's so much more that goes into being a mayor when there's a 9-mile lake involved, I'm sure.
Absolutely. It's really I praise people that take the time and the effort to get involved with leadership in a community. I don't want to say politics because I don't think I was a politician. I really did not care about a party system.
Right.
And in villages in New York State, it's fabulous the fact that you don't run as a Republican or you don't run as a Democrat or independent. You run as you.
Right.
And
It's good
I
to
think
hear.
and I would love to see our whole nation run like that because
Yeah.
it's so important. It really is important. I think that politicians in that title, have to pay back and have
Right.
to
Right.
owe the person that donated the most money, and it's a sad situation. And I think that America as a whole right now is really focused on the fact that we want a real person and not someone
Definitely.
that's owned.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of people would agree with you there. Definitely. So going off that note of leadership, right? I just want to talk about, you are, the textbook definition of a leading lady, which is so exciting.
you.
I'm excited to have you. But I want to talk about, your role as a female, as a mayor when you were running and while you were serving.
I think that there was no barrier.
Amazing.
Very nice. It was very nice.
Yes.
Because I think a person that can speak to the people, be it male or female, should be recognized
Right.
and should be the winner of the competition or the election. So I am, I'm happy that that I was recognized not as, just as a person and not as a male or female in my role as being a leader of the community.
Was that something you were worried about when you decided to?
Not really.
That's
Not
awesome.
really. Yeah. It didn't faze me in the least. I think I really started my role in leadership in high school when I was
Okay.
the first female student government president of
Wow.
a
Congrats.
Catholic high school. So in a Catholic school that was very used to males being leaders. And I had to overcome a principal and a vice principal that was so disappointed that it was a female student government
Wow.
president, and they couldn't take me skiing like they took the male student
my
government
gosh.
president and go on field trips with the boys.
Right.
So they were, but it was a good learning lesson.
definitely.
Totally. I guess, they didn't realize it at the time, but they really increased my confidence and really gave me an advantage, in my life going forward.
Right, without intending to.
Right.
So funny.
I know.
Anyway, we will be right back. I want to talk about that afterwards, but we're going to have a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, listeners. You're tuned in with Katie Krahulik and Erin Shanahan. This is Barbara Moore with us today, and you've been listening to Leading Ladies right here on WTBQ.
WVT is your trusted communications provider with a triple play of services, including telephone with crystal clear voice and unlimited local and long distance calling. And it even works when the power goes out. DirecTV with over 285 channels and DVR service in every room. Act now, because with new subscriptions, you get the 2016 NFL Sunday Ticket free. Add blazing fast internet service to complete the package. All this and local technical support too. For more information, visit WVT at WVTC.com.
This is Dr. Calvin Hargis, and I'd like to invite you to the Albert Wisner Public Library Thursday, June 30th, where I'll be discussing many topics, including neurofeedback therapy and the mismanagement of chronic musculoskeletal pain and scoliosis. Did you know that most scoliotic curves are due to a short leg or an unlevel pelvis and begin as simple curves to balance the torso on an unlevel base? Young spines are soft and can deform if abnormal pressures continue. Did you know that radiologists do not comment on leg length differences, or that most orthopedic doctors do not attempt to correct these imbalances with corrective lifts? Join me Thursday, June 30th at 6:30 p.m. at the Albert Wisner Public Library in Warwick for this most informative talk. If you have chronic pain, a child diagnosed with scoliosis, or want to know more about neurofeedback therapy for a brain-related condition like anxiety, depression, TBI, or ADHD, you will not want to miss this talk.
When my construction company has a tight deadline, I need a contract bond fast. That's why I work with Selective. With their Contractor Express program, I can pre-qualify for bonds for many of my smaller jobs in just a few minutes.
Selective. Response is everything. For quick and easy bond solutions, visit selective.com.
Small contract bonds and no hassle. That works for me.
This is Garrett Derlin from Sealy & Derlin Insurance. For quick and affordable contract bond needs, contact us at 845-986-1177.
Insuring your business is serious stuff. You don't need gimmicks or cutesy mascots or punchlines. You certainly don't want red tape. You just want the right coverage at the right price. We're as serious about insuring your business as you are about running it. Selective. Response is everything.
This is Garrett Derlin from Sealy & Derlin Insurance. To create your custom business insurance solution, contact us at 845-986-1177.
This is Sister Anna. Listen to The Garden of the Child, a story discussion time with students. Story develops listening skills and imagination. Saturdays at 11:10 a.m. on WTBQ.
Hi, this is Jeff Berkman, Orange County Legislator. Please join me every Wednesday at 9 a.m. on the WTBQ Roundtable. We'll be discussing the issues that concern you, exclusively on WTBQ.
WTBQ. Ain't I got you on the back foot? And you know I got you really good.
Welcome back. This is your Leading Ladies host, Katie Krahulik, speaking right here on WTBQ Radio. Erin Shanahan is here with me again today in the studio, and we were in the middle of our conversation with today's first guest, Ms. Barbara Moore. And we were just talking about, her role as mayor and growing up, what maybe inspired her or gave her some motivation to further her career, in leadership.
We were talking about, I was in high school and I was the first student government president, and it really did give me the sense of recognizing people and their needs and forming a community. And I think that is so important. And I hope that it's translated into you lovely young adults, and that you understand that is going forward. talking with my hands too. Too bad it's not TV. It's Italian coming out of me. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time as a leader of my community.
Yeah.
It gave me so much inner strength, and I hope that I left a lasting legacy, for the positive in the village that I truly still love.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's true, especially considering that you were selected from more than 600 mayors in the state of New York to be one of the 11 members of the New York Conference of Mayors Executive Committee. So
kudos.
I think that's testament to how well you did in Greenwood
it was a
Lake.
huge recognition, because how, from little Greenwood Lake, how do they, but it came to the point where they saw our involvement, and like you said, Katie, being a mayor of a community, yet being a mayor of a community on a body of water, your needs are so different and expanded, and so we were going to Albany a lot,
Right.
to knock on doors of our representatives up there to help us, because how can a little community, with a very low tax base and a very small budget, be able to do all the things you need to do? So you have to make that up with grant funding,
Right.
Which is available, but it's not. It's not like knocking on the door and they write you a
it's not
check.
easy to get, right.
It's filling out papers, and in some
Definitely.
cases having engineers come in and design a project for you. But we were able to do that, and when I got the call from NICOM, which is an organization that was formed in 1910, believe it or not,
Wow.
and at a time where states were forming leagues to assist municipal leaders, with the interaction between a state government and local government. And so we, as sitting on the executive board, would look at the needs of and the legislation that was going on, and put that in relatable terms to the municipal leaders, so we could group together to fight like the trickle-down effect that a state will pass down taxes, and that you would have to make up in your municipal budget to take care of legislation coming from the state. So so a lot of things were stopped.
Okay.
One big project we worked on was to stop this trickle down, and the governor was very eager to talk to the executive board, and we've sat with him many times, and it's a great organization, and I hope that NICOM, or New York Conference of Mayors, only works with villages and cities.
Okay.
Towns, like the town of Warwick has the Association of Towns, similar organization. But because towns are bigger,
Right.
it's a different focus than on small communities.
Definitely. Well, clearly they recognize you for a reason, because you did a lot of work for your community, and we were just talking about how clear that is now. And I've been living in Warwick 18 years, but my dad, has a place over in Greenwood Lake, so we're there pretty often. And even just, from what I've witnessed, there's so much life and community in Greenwood Lake now. I was at the street fair the other day, and it was bustling. It really was.
I'm so pleased to hear that, because these are things that were started when, we kind of got in there and tried to wake up that sleepy little town that
Right.
was in the 90s. And I am so glad that they're continuing promoting Greenwood Lake, because it's a fabulous place.
It really is, definitely. And they do have the summer concerts. Is that something that started when you were?
We started the summer concerts, believe it or not. We started them in Lions Field, which is our baseball field, because we didn't have the waterfront park at that time.
Okay.
So, but we wanted to use a municipal space that people would come and recognize, not only parents taking their children to a ballpark, but the taxpayers own those fields, and they own those municipal buildings, so they should be there to share them. Not only the parent that has the child that's plays sports. So we wanted to embrace that and introduce the public that lived in the community and outside the community to know what we had. So we started the summer concerts at Lions Field. We bought for $50, we bought a hay wagon from the Renaissance Fair. And
Very
so,
Hudson Valley.
yeah. So the performers performed on the hay wagon, and we did hire a sound professional, which made it work much better. But it was hysterical because you would have a group on this hay wagon and they'd be singing and moving, and so would the hay wagon be moving. So it was really, really enjoyable, and people would bring their picnics and they would sit and have a wonderful time in this beautiful space, that had a lovely mountain range right behind it. So it's great.
Amazing. So after you became mayor, you moved to New Jersey.
I
now.
moved down to South Jersey. That was just, believe it or not, last year. And, it's been a nice transition. I must say that it was really hard to leave my beautiful community. But we've really established a nice residence now, and we're on the bay. So we're back on water, but this time I don't have the responsibility of taking care of that water.
Yeah.
It was, a huge job, and, I give kudos to anyone that has the stamina to go in and do a job of being a mayor, of having water surrounding a landmass. So.
Okay. Well, now you're a financial advisor.
Well, I have been. That's been my professional career for 33 years.
Okay.
I did, when I moved down to South Jersey, I did change firms. For the majority of my career, I was with I started with Thompson McKinnon in New York City. Okay. In the world of the little guy gets eaten up by the big guy. So Thompson was purchased by Prudential Beige.
Okay.
Prudential dropped the Beige name. It became Prudential Securities.
Right.
Prudential Securities was then bought by Wachovia. Mm-hmm. And then Wachovia was then bought by Wells Fargo. So I never left the firm, but I changed names, and I have a lot of business cards sitting in the same desk. But it's a wonderful business. It's a business that changes every day, and that's one reason why I love being a financial advisor. The stock market is a volatile instrument, and my pride in my job that I have as in my career as a financial advisor is that I know my clients.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that it's important to have a financial advisor for everyone out there, be a millionaire or someone with a $2,000 IRA just starting out in their work career. It's important to have someone that cares about you and your financial goals, and that you're going to have that $2,000, plus by the time you retire. But I really, really love my business. It's a changing business every single day. I'm what you could say a dinosaur. I'm a transactional financial advisor. So I don't have managed products. I do very little in mutual funds because I feel the client is hiring me as the professional to research and to find the best assets for their portfolios. So I'm really hands-on with my clients. I like it that way. I don't want to rely on someone else managing my clients' money.
Definitely. I think that there are a lot of fields and careers that when people hear them, they think, oh, that is they're helping people, Maybe it's a doctor, you think, oh, they clearly want to help people. And I think a lot of times finance is underrated in that category.
Sure, but it's most important.
Definitely.
Especially in this day where people are relying on their retirement funding to, when they retire at 65 or 67, or a lot of police and firemen work 20 years and then they retire, but a lot of assets in their 401ks or their retirement programs aren't there for them to collect.
Definitely.
So it's really something that people need to pay attention to. And, some people think they can do it themselves. It's inexpensive to go online and do a trade for $7, but really, who are you talking to when that trade fails?
Definitely.
So.
It's absolutely a crucial part of life. So
It is.
another, topic I wanted to talk about, and something that you had mentioned to me, is that this is a male-dominated field.
Sure. Katie, when I started in 1983, very long time ago, there were very few females in the role of a financial advisor. And it was difficult because the branch managers would favor the men. If you had a client that came into the office, they would be shown to the male broker instead of coming to me, the starving young
Right.
woman in New York City having to pay rent and, eating oatmeal to
Right,
survive.
right.
So it was difficult in the beginning, I must say. I didn't come from a wealthy background. My father died when I was 12. My mother was a waitress. Oh, it's okay. And a waitress, and she, didn't have the funding to, provide for two girls going to college. And so we kind of made our own way and successfully, but she had taught us good grounding. And, both my sister and I have succeeded professionally, and that's always good.
Yeah.
But, it was tough. And I really think that today, the job or the role of a financial advisor has really, with a lot of people, been put on the back burner. And I can't stress enough that people should pay attention to their investment needs.
Definitely.
And that, the new, in a lot of brokerage firms now, they kind of push you into a managed product, and you're paying a lot of money for that managed product, and people don't realize it. So, people should research what they're doing. I just transferred a $800,000 account from another brokerage firm because the guy was being charged 1% of his assets, even if he wasn't trading. And, that's a lot of money, 1% of your assets when this is your retirement money.
Right.
And so, please, buyer beware type of thing. And really, you might trust a person, but really know, do your own homework. So.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I hope listeners are paying attention to this. We do have to wrap it up with this half hour, but I just want to ask you one last thing. If you have any advice for people who, want to lead or who want to break any sort of barrier, what would you tell them?
I think that you have to have passion.
Definitely.
And it's not a glamorous job. It's a really, as far as being a leader of your community, and don't do it just to advance yourself. Do it because you have the passion to do it and you care about the community that you're living in, and do it for the betterment of the taxpayers and the residents of that community.
Absolutely. And that's obviously something that you did and you were passionate about. So kudos to you again. Thank you so much, Barbara, for sharing your story and coming in today. We really appreciated having you. And I wish you all the best moving forward. But come back and visit because we do miss you here in the Hudson Valley.
Oh, I miss being here, and I'm so proud of both of you. And Katie, as a little girl, I'll just never forget about you and your ambition, and you have goals, and you've always strove for those goals, and I'm so proud of you,
Well,
Katie
thank you.
Krahulik.
I appreciate it. It's
You're a
nice of you to
sweetheart.
say. Thank you. You are too.
Thanks.
So don't go anywhere, everyone, because coming in after this short break is a dynamic family duo. We have Michele Winchester-Vega and her daughter Natasha Vega. They will be up next to talk about their shared impact on the community. This has been Katie Krahulik and Erin Shanahan, and you're listening to Leading Ladies here on WTBQ Radio.
This is your wallet talking, and I think we both need to get away. And if we fly Allegiant, we can totally afford it.
Listen to your wallet and visit Allegiant.com. Book a flight nonstop from Stewart International Airport to sunny Tampa, St. Pete, Florida, and Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Save even more when you book flights, rental cars, hotels, and attractions. At Allegiant.com, prices are so low, you just have to go.
Turn the pages back to another time at Ye Olde Warwick Bookshop. Enter and you'll feel the comforting environment of what bookstores once were. Ye Olde Warwick Bookshop is a place to come browse, feel, smell, and simply enjoy a good book. In the presence of a wealth of knowledge and stories, you're warmly invited to open the books that will transport you to other worlds and times. At Ye Olde Warwick Bookshop, you'll find everything from new releases to rare old books. Whether you're looking for fiction or nonfiction, it's all there at Ye Olde Warwick Bookshop, 31 Main Street in the heart of the village of Warwick. Call 544-7183. And remember, that great book you just read on your Kindle, you can't pass it along to family or a good friend. Ye Olde Warwick Bookshop, where pages really do turn.
As a baby, I preferred cloth diapers over disposable, even though they caused more work for my parents. Hi, this is Keith Millspaugh, Millspaugh Furniture of Walden, Warwick, and Poughkeepsie. And yes, I was a baby more than 50 years ago when there really wasn't a disposable choice. Today, you have a choice between disposable and non-disposable furniture and mattresses. Did you know many of our competitors' mattresses are slapped together in 30 minutes, while our two-sided handmade sets take over 10 hours to be created? Our sofa construction story mimics our mattress story, and this is why I confidently say I believe your Millspaugh sofa and mattress will give you their showroom comfort from baby to preteen, and our solid wood U.S.-made bedrooms and dining rooms are similarly superior to disposable imports that flood the market today. Let my furniture counselors help you make your best buying decision by revealing what makes non-disposable Millspaugh furniture and mattresses a great value for you. That's Millspaugh Furniture, offering non-disposable furniture and mattresses since 1858.
Hey everybody, this is Rachel Ray. Join me today and every weekday with Rach on the radio. I'll have tips to save you money, celebrity chit-chat, and of course, food. All from the kitchen table of our Emmy Award-winning show, Rachel Ray.
Weekdays at 12:30.
Hi, this is Marina Case of the Red Shutters in Warwick, New York. Tune in every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. for The Style Show, a show about decorating, fashion, and fun on WTBQ, radio worth listening to.
WTBQ. Ain't I got you on the back foot? And you know I got you really good.
We are back. Hello and welcome to those who just tuned in. I'm Katie Krahulik, and you're listening to Leading Ladies, a women's talk show that features relatable, intelligent, compassionate, powerful, productive women of the 21st century. For our second segment, we have two very special guests. We have Michele Winchester-Vega and her daughter, Natasha Vega. They are here with us today. So hello, ladies. It's so lovely to have you both here in the studio. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So where to begin? I think we'll start with Michele. A question for you, as the mother. Can you talk a little bit about the work you're doing currently and your responsibilities in that line of work?
Sure. I have a practice with 20 other practitioners in psychiatric social work, and my role is to make it work and to continue figuring out what the community might need in addition to what we're providing. A very exciting thing that we're providing right now is mindfulness meditation for young and older people, because the life that we're all living is very, very stressful, and every single minute seems to matter.
It's true, especially today, I think, because of technology and things of that nature.
Absolutely.
So have you started that yet now?
We have. We have started it for about a year now, and people are really, really responding to it.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Very cool. So what pushed you to kind of get involved with social work?
Actually, I was studying sociology and women's studies in my undergrad days, and just the compelling information that I was privy to and wanted to make a difference and found it fascinating.
Right, definitely. We say rock on to that. That's something that we love hearing. I mean, you have a really impressive resume, just by looking at what you've showed us. And
I'm looking at it right now, everyone. It's 5 pages. It's 5 pages long.
It's very extensive. And what's very clear to me is that you've done pretty much everything it takes to be fully educated and qualified in your line of work. So I want to talk about, going the extra mile in your career, and why did you decide to do so?
I think even in raising Natasha, I've always said, you decide on what you want to do, and then you go as far as you can go, because psychiatric social workers don't require a doctorate in social work. But at the time I was teaching at New Paltz in Orange County, and I had already been at Columbia University, and I wanted to teach in part, and you do need a doctorate for that, but also because, I think we all have to be lifelong learners. And so the idea about continuing to stay open to learning is just part of who I am.
Definitely. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And, to be qualified, it's something I talk about a lot with, so many of the guests that come on my show is they always say one of the most important things in any line of work is to be prepared. And clearly that's something that that you are, which is, of course, great to see. So as this is a woman's show, and I'm sure this is something that you pay keen attention to, another thing I wanted to talk about is when looking at the family dynamics in your line of work specifically, what are some of the major problems or, disadvantages that you see some of the women facing?
It's interesting because yesterday I had to, found a couple of minutes to get my hair cut. And the woman who was doing my hair said, "Okay, Dr. Vega, tell me the truth. Do you think women and women lib has gone too far?" And I said, "What do you mean?" She said, we could be home. We wouldn't have to be killing ourselves. What? We could have a minute off. Oh my God. Don't you agree that we've gone too far? And I said, well, I don't know about that. But the idea is, how do we carve out balance? Because the things that I'm seeing in life and the things that I'm seeing in the practice, again, come back to just being tapped out. People are talking about being, burnt out or exhausted. And, we teach people to try and be in the moment, just right here, right now. But it's hard, and for working moms with little children, before they even get out of the house, they're exhausted. Right. So, I think that it's an ongoing process for every woman who aspires to use her skills and her knowledge to make a difference. And then to balance that with really our most important work, and that is of our family and how to be real and show up in the world in an authentic way.
Right, absolutely. And, speaking of family, is this something that you feel there's like a domino effect when it comes to this mentality with, parents and their children? Do you see any specific impacts on child development or, maybe in your opinion or something that you see in your line of work? What do you think?
I do. You talked a minute ago about technology, and I always say to parents, do your best just to be with your child. And you see them on the fields, and you see them in stands and at school, and they're on their phone, they're right. Typing, they're trying to figure out what's next. I said, leave that aside. Just be with them for a couple of minutes each day. And I think that the demanding needs and wants on families and children and adults make it kind of frenetic so that children very often don't get the experience of someone just being with them for 45 minutes. Right. And, part of psychotherapy, the only purpose of it is for us to be available to them. And that's our only purpose and focus. And so, I think it's sad because I don't think parents are intending to do harm, but I just don't think that they're having as much flex as they need to be present.
Right. Definitely makes sense. Do you feel that, I'm sure, in your line of work, you're seeing some results, some good improvements. Do you think that, of course, but can you talk a little bit about the reward, of seeing people, improve or feel better, really?
Absolutely. Well, there are two parts of it. One is some people need medication. And with mental health, you have major depressions, you have schizophrenia, you have addiction, you have trauma. And some of those people need medication first. And many of them need a way of processing the things that have happened in their life so that they can make sense of it and not continue it and replicate that for themselves and their children. But in terms of the successes, it takes a long time to see real change. Definitely. Because change is not quick and is not easy. People really have to make a commitment. But in my earlier part of my career, I used to run addiction clinics. And those people and those families, you could see a transformation. even within 3 months. And that was very, very exciting. And, with depression, it waxes and wanes, You have to see people really stabilize before you can see psychic energy and behavioral energy. But in the part of my career of teaching, that is really more rewarding in that way of seeing real change, because I could go into a lecture center and have hundreds of students, and you could just see light bulbs going off, and it'd be like, oh, wow, look at that, they got it, and they're going to be able to pass it on and, replicate it and domino in that way.
Definitely. And what listeners can't see right now is that Michele is beaming when she's talking about this. It's very clear that you're extremely passionate about what you do, which is refreshing and amazing to see. So kudos to you again. You're clearly a fantastic role model, and you do a lot of really great work for your community, and that definitely doesn't go unnoticed, especially by your daughter, I'm sure, who is here with us, Natasha. And I did want to talk about, you a little bit, because your daughter is an incredible young woman and well-rounded, achieved, because I have her resume too, and she's super involved in her community as well, and at her school, and on her way to success. So I want to talk about her commitment and independence, but I'm asking you, Michele, was this something you encouraged while you were raising Natasha?
Every single day.
I'm sure.
Every single day. Tosh is our only child. And even when she was 3 or 4 years old, we would bring her along. They call me the $1 million woman because of helping to raise now a couple of $1 million for the community. But Natasha, at 3, certainly sold more raffle tickets and more 50-50 tickets than anyone. And, she was cute and smart.
It's hard to say no to a little girl.
That's a little girl
dressed up in a dress, pretty dress.
Yes, you use your tools. Yes,
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So, absolutely.
Well, let's take a short commercial break. We'll be returning shortly, so please stay tuned. We're going to talk to Natasha, talk a little bit about what she's doing and how awesome she is. I'm Katie Krahulik, and we're here with Erin Shanahan. Michele and Natasha are talking about their combined effort to make a difference on a grand scale. This is Leading Ladies on WTBQ Radio. Thank you.
Mountain Creek Resort, located in Vernon, New Jersey, the most unique wedding and event destination resort in the country. Say I do on a spectacular mountaintop with stunning views, followed by your fantasy reception of up to 260 people and guest accommodations. Mountain Creek Resort, known for impeccable service and delectable cuisine. Whatever the size of your wedding or special event, it'll feel intimate and unique. An event specialist will create a truly magical experience with a special twist in a one-of-a-kind venue, the rustic, elegant ambiance of the Red Tail Lodge. Mountain Creek's your #1 destination for skiing, snow tubing, swimming, biking, or simply enjoying the water park. You and your guests will share memorable moments that'll bring you back time and time again. Mountain Creek in Vernon, New Jersey, making your dreams a reality in all 4 seasons. So call now, 973-827-2000, or visit mountaincreek.com.
KBW Kitchen and Bath Works of Warwick is your one-stop, whether building your home, designing your dream kitchen, bath additions, or basements. KBW offers turnkey innovative solutions and designs customized to fit your vision and style. Make your dream a reality with Michele, Scott, and the entire team. They offer a myriad of design portfolios for both new and renovation projects. Whether your tastes are classic, traditional, or contemporary, KBW will customize your design for your lifestyle and comfort. Come to the showroom and peruse their design catalogs at your leisure. KBW has the edge that sets them shoulders above the competition. And here is what one of their satisfied customers had to say. Kitchen looks great. The project was done when promised, and the KBW team was great to work with. They coordinated all of the demo and installation so that time without the use of the kitchen was minimized. Creative ideas to maximize space utilization and design. Visit gotkitchens.co or call 845-988-5522.
Start your engine!
Sonoma Raceway.
They are racing side by side down through the S's, watching Dale Earnhardt Jr. getting around Martin Truex Jr.
It's the Toyota Save Mart 350.
Kurt Busch now looks to the inside of brother Kyle Busch into turn number 7. They round the median. They will race door to door.
David Reagan, Carl Edwards get tied up. Both cars slam into the tire barrier.
Sunday, June 26th at 2 p.m.
Brought to you every week by Vogel & Moore Insurance and Dawson Motors.
Hi, this is Dr. David Leach, the superintendent of the Warwick Valley Central School District and host of Your Schools. Listen every Monday at 12 noon to learn what's happening in your schools right here on WTBQ, radio worth listening to.
WTBQ. Ain't I got you on the back foot? And you know I got you really good.
Welcome back. Yeah, we have a good song at the beginning there. I'm Katie Krahulik, here with Erin Shanahan, hosting Leading Ladies on WTBQ. We were just talking to today's guests, Michele Winchester-Vega and her daughter, Natasha. Thanks
morning.
for coming in, you guys.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. So we've just been talking to Michele a little bit about, her and what she's doing, but now I want to shift the focus a little bit to Natasha, her daughter. And one of the really cool things that Natasha's doing is when she was in 7th grade, she actually founded an organization called Kids for Causes, which is a great cause. And I just want to, you can explain it a little bit and talk about why you decided to do this.
Sure. Thank you. Well, Kids for Causes started in my basement, funny enough, with a couple of my school friends. And I had really seen this need and this opening for children to get involved in philanthropic works. And my mother at the time was very involved with the girls' school in the inner city of Newburgh, Nora Cronin Presentation Academy. And I said to myself, I see her so positive, so passionate about one thing. Mom, I want to start my own.
Right.
And I want to help children see that they can donate and how to do that, and that it's not fundraising is not necessarily about money. It's about volunteers, and it's about time. And there's a lot of things that you can give back regardless of your socioeconomic background. And I thought that was important for kids to understand. And to be exposed to. So Kids for Causes has a dual mission. We mentor children into philanthropy, and then we also raise funds for organizations that not only collaborate with us, but that also see human and children and women's rights injustices as a true calling.
Right.
So we do that both on a global scale, well, I guess nation, and then,
Right.
global international scale.
Right,
So.
absolutely. I'm getting chills hearing you talk about this. This is such a great thing. And can you talk a little bit about the success that it's found in its years?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started with the idea of becoming a nonprofit, and we actually were able to make that reality come true when I was in high school through the Community Foundation of Orange and Sullivan. And so we have a fund now with them in perpetuity, so it'll last forever, beyond my mother, beyond myself. To be able to give back to the community. So to date, we've raised over $50,000.
That's amazing.
So we're very excited about that. And, we've been donating to causes along the way, safe homes, Big Brothers Big Sisters. At first we did equine rescue because all of the people who were joining me were like, animals. And that was before we kind of refined our mission. So we've done, a lot of good charities and have
Eleanor
collaborated
Roosevelt.
with us. Yes, Eleanor Roosevelt Girls Leadership Worldwide.
Wow.
That's Eleanor Roosevelt Center in Valkill up in Hyde Park.
Right. Okay.
They're amazing. So
Definitely.
we've done a lot with them as well.
So you guys have really expanded then.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
And
we have.
do you have any goals for expanding even more so in the future? Where do you think you're going with this?
Where do I think that we're going with this? That's really a good question. I hope to be able to pass this on, obviously, to family members down the road. So I'm hoping, very, very far in the future, my
Right.
children will get involved,
Right.
et cetera. So thinking about that, I hope that we continue to be able to donate to charities and specifically local causes that are doing some really great things for our community.
Definitely.
So
This is a beautiful chain reaction. I think that this is the kind of stuff that, really changes the world, honestly, because
Absolutely.
it's just that spread, which is amazing.
You just graduated, right?
Yes, I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You graduated from Penn State.
Yep, in May from main campus.
Wow.
What was your major and your minor?
Yeah, I was in, my major was advertising and public relations,
Very
and
cool.
I had a double minor in sociology and Spanish.
Nice.
So the sociology from my mother carried over.
Right.
So do you plan to use your degree for your organization, or are you going somewhere else with it?
I really liked focusing on the sociological aspect, specifically for Kids for Causes, because it's a chain reaction that you see in societies. And I am moving forward into advertising, actually.
Okay.
Currently, I'm a fellow at Havas Life Metro.
Wow.
Congrats.
Thank
Nice.
you. It's on Madison Avenue in New York City. It's quite the job.
Very
I
cool.
have been there now for 3 weeks in total. I absolutely love it. The staff is incredible. Right now I'm working on the oncology sector because it's a pharmaceutical advertising company that's been around for 35 plus years. So it's really exciting, and it's really nice. I have 2 very strong women mentors.
Love it.
And it's great.
Love hearing that.
So you're doing this on top of Kids for Causes?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. Very cool.
That's amazing. Wow. Definitely 2 great role models in the room with us here today. And, one of the reasons I did want to have both of you come in is because I like seeing, daughters follow in their mother's footsteps. That's something that it's something that's personal to me. As my mom's a great role model in my life, but that's something that's so clear here, and that's why you're both here. And I do want to talk about that a little bit, because clearly she's rubbing off on you, but
yes,
in a lot of ways, because of course you guys are both interested in this, socio philanthropy type thing, but you're also, you're very established, you're very independent, and you're very successful, and that's something that I think. You've seen from your mom. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I got really lucky that I had a great female role model in my life, and that I continue to have such a great role model in my life, as do you, and it's great. So, over the years, people always say your daughter will become one day your best friend. To my mother. And so, when I would hear that, I was like, okay, sure. During adolescence, yeah, you go, all right. But it really has happened. It's really great. It's just amazing seeing how many people that she's been able to help. It's amazing thinking about how many lives that she's changed. I mean, to see the overall impact that her work has on just the community in general, and at large, is something that empowers me probably more than she knows. And
absolutely, it's the first time I'm hearing it.
Yes, mission accomplished.
It's really about if you can't be real with your own family, you really can't be authentic with others. And one of the things that Tosh did a couple of years ago with me is this book that we're glad to give both of you, because you two are the ones that we want to put on our shoulders and bring you forward. And we had a couple hundred children. Tasha, you want to talk about it and talk about the reading that we had? It was
So we wrote a book a couple years ago called "Are You My Sister?" It's about girls working together and seeing each other as sisters and friends, and kind of pushing each other along to do great things instead of necessarily competing, because it's a world out there.
Definitely.
And you can see my eyes widen when I say that. Yes. So we wanted to see that, and we wanted girls to know that. So we had kids from the school district, the Newburgh City and Large School District, as well as a couple other schools, give us illustrations, and we put them in the book. So completely child-oriented.
Definitely. And we have the books in front of us. You guys can't see them, obviously, but they're very
beautiful.
Cute. Are these
so colorful.
Are these pictures
done by the kids?
Okay.
Yes, yep, every single one.
And Liza Mills helped us with that. And then we had a play that another wonderful woman, Fran, did in Newburgh. It was just great. So we're thinking of doing another book. We're not going to say for sure yet, but we have an idea. Are You My Friend? Or Are You My Brother?
Ooh,
what was your inspiration for this specifically? Like, what inspired you to write this?
As a young female, you go through a lot of things, and knowing that my friends meant the world to me, and that they still do, and that I have an amazing support system that I really wanted to highlight was kind of the key there. So I wanted other girls to know the same thing.
Help one another.
Help one another. Don't compete with one another.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
Something we encourage as well. Well, thank you so much to both of you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thanks for offering your experience with our audience, and keep up the incredible work.
And
I know
you
each
girls
of you will continue to succeed and thrive. Thank you.
You girls, go girl.
Thank you. Unfortunately, that's it for today. Thanks everyone for listening. Tune in again next week to hear some more women talk about the amazing work that they do. If you listened late, you can listen on ladiesleadingshow.wordpress.com. This has been Katie Krahulik and Erin Shanahan, and you've been listening to Leading Ladies right here on WTBQ Radio.
Celebrating 21 years playing the best music.
WTBQ. Warwick.